What's wrong with Annika?
Sorry, that's covered by mother-daughter confidentiality.
Well, fine. I can tell things haven't been going well for Annika and the rush here, that's why we're returning to our people. She's not happy here, nor are you. My mother has already arranged an excellent engagement for her with a talented, handsome young man from Mumbai. He invited me to his home. Quite a nice place.
You what?
It's all set up. It will provide stability, direction and focus for her, especially if Annika still wants to pursue an arts career and can't hack a real college education.
No. Not again.
She can return to America with him after she's settled down a bit, and he'll provide well for her and whatever hobbies her fancies wish to follow.
It's over. You're leaving. Now.
Finally, I was getting tired of this argument. So how long am I in the doghouse this time?
He's Han. Go ahead to India. With a rush, I'm sure he'll like it there. Annika and I will remain here in America.
You can't decide something like that on your own.
That never seemed to stop you.
Come on, Andrea, this is most inconvenient. Separating the family like this. How am I supposed to take care of him?
You're going to get a lot of practice. Or just ask your helpful mother. Listen carefully. You and I are separating. Let's just be honest, for once. We've already have been separated for years. We can keep up the pretense until you leave, but I want all the papers sorted out. When Arush graduates, we'll finalize the divorce. Let's be adults about this, for the kids' sakes.
This is ridiculous. How can you do this to me? You know, this has always been your problem. You just don't take your responsibilities seriously. My mother was right about you. She said you didn't have what it took to be a good wife.
Oh my God. He said that?
Yes, and he added it would be easy for him to trade in an old, quarrelsome 40-year wife for two lovely 20-year-old women back home, who would appreciate him.
Damn that jerk. Why, I ought to go over there and...
Sarah, sit down. You're a clergy woman in public? Compose yourself.
But...
Put your butts down. I have a dozen nasty words and wishes of my own for Ishan, but I am not going to curse him. My words seem to work all too well recently, and I'm afraid of the ethical consequences. Besides, this is really Andrea's battle, so we're in a supportive role.
I need to see Andrea.
Hold your horses. I visited every day last week. She's recovering. It's a good thing Annika was at summer camp until this morning. Ishan and his son have already packed up and will fly out on the same day as our Lunasid festival. Naturally, we'll need a new site, but Dan said he'll find some place for us. Where have you been? During all this?
I'm such a fool. I was camping nearby at the island of the Golden Temple for the last week, and my phone fell in the lake. I felt it was too much a bother to return to get another. I wanted to be alone.
It's quite lovely out there, isn't it? Doesn't it bother Professor Torishima that you are using his property so often?
Torishima-sensei gave all of his karate students carte blanche access to the island whenever we needed it. I suppose I've needed the peace and quiet more than most. I hope he returns this fall. He's been gone for over a year, and I haven't heard from him at all.
I know what you mean. I wish my predecessor Henry would return for a visit. Or call. He's been gone on Peace Corps for years in the South Pacific. Too many of my favorite teachers have left too. By the way, no ghosts over at the island yet?
No, too far away I think. Why?
I'm only asking because of what happened to Peter yesterday.
What? I didn't hear. Is he okay?
He was running around the woods, and somehow he pissed off Kiki out there. Then Zoe showed up and helped them escape an attack from a horde of ghosts. I'm meeting him tomorrow. Oh, I hear Peter's handsome. Perhaps you should keep a closer eye on him. For both of your sakes.
Now, Jody, stop that. Actually, there's no proof that the ghosts are hostile. It is more like accidental encounters. Just a nuisance. Besides, I'd be more worried about Kiki. She and Zoe are half crazy.
You know, people living in glass houses should not throw stones. I have to admit that all the hardcore druids and pagans I know, like most mystics or great artists, have one foot here and one in the other world to draw strength. The difference between inspiration and insanity is that some of us have less ability to return and function in this world. Kiki has her reasons for what she does. As you have your secrets too. We all do. What a job. Counseling family breakups, ghost attacks, a strange citywide shortage of whiskey, bickering parishioners. I suppose it's all in a normal day for an archdruidess.
How do you handle the hassles?
Oh, I just keep plugging away. You see, every druid is desperately seeking something. Usually they can't put their finger on it. If you can help them realize what that thing is, much less fix or find a solution, well, you've more than earned your ribbons as a priestess.
Desperate druids? Don't be so dramatic.
Hey, I could write a great novel from just these 3 years with you guys.
Dibs on the movie, right?
And Fiona, I called you to get some sympathy. Sheriff Brian says he'll tell everyone my secret. It'll ruin everything that I've built here.
I warned you that your decision was foolish. A relationship with a woman, it would never work out. You should have accepted what you are, and picked someone from your own kind. Besides, our work here is too important for distractions. All my sources indicate that the election at Lunasa will be crucial for how events unfold. We don't know when the next great revision will occur.
But why should I help Sheriff Brian and his posse of bigots?
Toughen up. This is bigger than that. You need to play all sides. This is a good thing. Now you have access to another group that can bring about the end of this damnable situation.
But even as chaplain, how can I get the necessary information on what the students are doing? I'm just an old teacher. Don't hang up. Someone's over at the door.
Fred dear. Wanda is here. All the way from Beaver Island.
Hello.
I have invited my homestay, a fresh new druid, to stay with your family for a while. I'm sure she'll prove most useful.
Oh, and Fiona, what would I ever do without you?
Ah, you've finally woke up, Pete. You must have arrived at our dorm room rather late last night. Out at a party or something?
It was a crazy night. I got lost in the woods, ran into Kiki and Zoe and a bunch of ghosts. We barely got out of there. I've never run so fast in my life. Had to go the long way around the mountain to get back to campus, which took hours in the dark.
What did these specters look like?
Well, actually, I didn't see them.
So you don't know if there were any ghosts at all?
When people flee screaming and running, I think it's probably a good idea to do likewise.
That's the key to mass hysteria and getting trampled by fools. Besides, we're talking about Kiki. You do know her backstory, don't you?
What do you mean?
Well, I've heard she's not playing with a full deck of cards. Two of the more rational Wiccans on campus told me everything, before they left town, about Kiki's rabid fixation with 2 trees in the woods, and other boundary issues. So I did my research. Love a good story.
Yes, I know that. She blew up at me for touching one of them, my rotten luck.
Ah, but did you also know that her 2 parents, philanthropists, were kidnapped in the jungles of Colombia? The criminals tied them to 2 trees with a rope, and when the ransom didn't go as planned, they just left them bound to starve to death in the forest. So you can see why she has issues. It goes on. George and Madeline Stevensons will left a family fortune to the young 16-year-old orphan, Christina Stevenson, previously known for her cheerful volunteer community work. Kiki is her Norwegian nickname. The court emancipated the young heiress.
That's a lot of heavy crap to go through. And Zoe?
Zoe? No mention of her. Probably off on her own already. Likes her privacy, both of them do. Oh, by the way, this letter is for you.
What is it? Why, the fancy wax seal, parchment and calligraphy. Let's see. Blessings of the Earth Mother to you, Peter. The Archdruidess requests your presence at the pre-ritual briefing for Lunasar. Details follow. Your sister and the mother, Jody.
Sounds like a summons.
Yeah.
Peter, I wanted to tell you something else. I'm going to be taking on some extra work shifts. My mother says that she can't pay for my books and boarding fees anymore.
Times are tough.
Yes, I hope that Thomas will understand. He wants to go on a fantastic fandango of a road trip this summer. He'll be devastated and petulant. I just need to hold everything together for 2 more semesters until I graduate.
Now, Sarah, I know you were impatient to unpack and see Andrea, but I wanted to talk to you one more time about the election.
I know. You want me to be the Archdruidess?
I want you to reconsider it. It's up to the Grove to decide, but I hope you'd accept whatever post they invite you to take. I know I sound like a high school girl the night before prom, who still doesn't have a date. Yes, I'm getting a bit desperate. Dan won't do it. Thomas isn't ready. Andrea can't do it anymore. You know, Henry once told me that the Archdruid is usually the druid who runs away from responsibility the slowest. I'm hoping I can still catch you. Frankly, I'm out of other viable options.
Jody, I sincerely thought about that. And other matters at the island. I wasn't just sitting by the shore enjoying the cool breezes under the eaves of the temple. I'm sorry, but I really have to concentrate on my studies and job search now.
You do have a vocation. If not now, then when? Sarah, this isn't some kind of female inferiority thing from Catholicism, is it?
No, of course not. I just feel too spiritually hollow to lead a grove. The fire in the belly for it is just not there. Someday, perhaps. It's just college, not the end of the world. There'll be other opportunities to lead a community. When I'm stronger.
I wish you a strong future to kindle that flame. Just remember, people here want you to lead now. They really do.
There's something else going on, isn't there?
I'm worried about the 7 students from Craig's Irish study group. They want to vote in the election.
But they've never been to a service. And I've only seen a few ever at our forest walks or the handcraft activities we've sponsored.
All true, but you know the university rules for student clubs states any member must be eligible for offices. And they are on the official membership rolls, as are a bunch of other no-show folks. They apparently made this decision after I had a real falling out with Craig last week. Craig insisted that I designate him as my successor. And well, I told him that the Archdruidsy was not an inherited monarchy.
Seems a bit pushy, even for Craig.
Right. I'm just not sure why he's so hell-bent for this job. He used to be a dreaming romantic, but now a hunger for power seems to have awakened in him. And for what? For this silly title? Believe me, whatever little pleasures that might accompany all the work of this position, it's really not worth all this obsessive drama.
Well, Craig's always played by the rules before. To the letter. It'll be fine. It always is.
I hope so. People change, just like the seasons and tides. So hopefully he'll return to his old ways again. Right now, though, he seems willing to twist the rules. And I'm afraid that he's just not concerned if anyone else's feelings might get hurt in the process. To get what he wants. I'm sure you understand the possible dangers of that better than anyone.